Welcome. In front of me is the not so new, completely brand new iPhone 15, and today I will go over unboxing along with a quick review of this device. So anyway, let's just get straight into it. Peel that off. Whoa, would be nice if I don't like yank the phone out. Shut by it on iPhone. Anyway, right here we have our nice little lime green color. Let's yoink that off. And we have our device. Now I'm gonna boot it up. You can already see we do still have the dynamic island. Now the difference is, previously that island was reserved for the Pro lineup. Now they added it to 15. Now I'm not sure why they didn't just remove it. But you know, it's Apple. It's the same phone that you had last year and the year before that, and yet it still sells for $1,000. Nice, that's how you do business. Now, in here, apart from a cable, which I'm going to touch upon in a second, we have a little pen flip designed by Apple in California. Now, I'm looking for where's the part where manufactured by little children in China, but I don't see it here. I guess maybe it's on the second one. That never comes in the box. Anyway, here we have our cable, and the main difference here is it's now both ends are Type-C. Wow! It actually is possible, look at that! So now you can actually charge your device with any kind of USB Type-C cable, which is something that Apple should have had for half a decade now. But you know, it's much more viable to not have that and sell certifications to be allowed to sell Apple certified products like charging cables. Now they can't really do that with Type-C, so now they can just I guess get effed, stay effed. I mean, to be honest, Apple will find some way to milk their customers and partners, so I guess we're gonna see what they will come up with. Anyway, now touching up on the phone right here, obviously the major change right here is the Type-C charging port at the bottom, which obviously now you can charge. Now, that being said, it still falls under the standards for some stupid reason. I guess probably just so they can sell the 15 Pro Max better, because the USB here supports, what is it, like USB 2 standards. So even though it's Type-C, it's a slower Type-C, because why the heck would they give you the better one, right? Why would you be able to charge your device faster and have a better data transfer? You need to fork out more for that. Despicable. Anyway, so let's start off with the cameras at the back, and we have just a dual camera setup. Now, I'm not saying just as it's a bad thing. I prefer to have less cameras that are decent rather than more cameras that are useless. So the main camera right here is a 48 megapixel wide sensor, f1.6 26mm lens, PDAF, dual pixel PDAF, sensor shift, not exactly sure what that is, optical image stabilization. Now below that we have a 12 megapixel f2.4 13mm 120 degree field of view ultra wide lens. Now with those cameras you can shoot at 4K 60 frames max, and 1080p goes up to 240, but that is slow motion along with 120. Apart from that, they support 60, 30, 25, 24 frames. And then at the front we have a 12 megapixel f1.9 23mm wide lens, PDAF, and it's right, got confused for a moment here for some odd reason. But besides that, which technically isn't necessarily a lens, but it's labeled as such, is the SL3D lens, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically the biometric scanner. So we can use the Face ID on the phone, which is this little, the thing that is literally blinking right now, and probably the space right next to it. So there we go. Now, that being said, the blinking that you've seen right here, yeah, I don't see that in person. This is infrared, so your eyes can't actually see this kind of light. So this is visible by the camera itself, and on the camera you can obviously see it. But to the naked eye, looking at the device, you're never gonna see that kind of light. Now, moving on. In terms of the internals, we have a 3350 mAh battery, Pretty small battery size for the size of the device itself, to be honest. Considering devices of this size have more like 4000 mAh battery, but whatever. It's also supporting a charging speed of don't know, because it's Apple, so it doesn't really state. But they advertise the charging time it will take you. So it apparently gets your device in up to 50% in 30 minutes, which puts it somewhere around 22 watts. So it's laughable, to be honest. Anyway, we also have wireless charging at 7.5 watts, which is the Qi charging standard, and if you're using the MagSafe standard, the more expensive because it's Apple certified, you get 15 watts. Obviously it's proprietary, so it will cost you more. Anyway, moving on. In terms of the internals, we have the new, or actually no, this isn't the new processor, it's the old one, just in a newer device. It's an Apple A16 Bionic chipset right here, and we have 6 gigabytes of built-in RAM, and in terms of storage, we're looking at anywhere from 128 gigs to half a terabyte. And all the storage is using NVMe standard, so it's blazing fast. It will chew through any kind of rendering that you want to do on the device without a single problem. So that is actually good. And let's see if there's anything else that I missed. All right, the display. I actually haven't talked about the display. Probably because it doesn't really change that much. Anyway, it's a Super Retina XDR OLED, HDR10, Dolby Vision, whatever, yeah. It's basically an OLED display. Now, the funny thing is, it doesn't even support high refresh rate, which is just like a middle finger from Apple, like here you go, here's Type-C, but we're not giving you high refresh rate because you get to pay for the Pro version to get that. Let's be honest, budget devices nowadays can come with high refresh rate displays. 90, 120 for less than $200. I want somebody who can logically explain to me why the frick does this device not come with high refresh rate. It boggles my mind how this company can still be one of the most valued companies when they produce garbage like this, because let's be honest, this device is exactly the same as it was the last year and the year before that. And the only thing that they changed between these devices, at least in the higher end ones, because in terms of the non-pro versions like this one, it did have a little bit of a change. They added dynamic island, which I'm pretty sure previously just had an ugly ass notch, and the year before that was even worse. But if we just look at, for instance, like this one, right? I know that I was talking about the non-pro version, but I want to just kind of shine a little bit of light. This is the pro version, and the difference between this pro, the year before that, and even year before that is basically non-existent. If I would show you all three devices next to each other, I don't think you can just spot a difference how they differ between each other, because they all look exactly the same. And the only difference is that this one now comes with a Type-C and has a newer processor. And if Apple decides for some idiotic reason later on that, hey, maybe we can get away by selling devices with the same processors and still charging people more, I'm pretty sure they will. Oh wait, I'm holding it in my hand. It's this. It's a last year's. Oh my god, it just dawned on me. Wow. Yes, I just came to a conclusion that Apple is doing what I was just thinking of. So anyway, this is basically the last year's model in a last year's body. And that's as best as I can explain this. It's a mediocre upgrade. Not really worth the money, in my opinion, especially if you have an older device. It comes at about like what, $800, something like that. So if you already have the old iPhone, as an example, even the Pro version of it, then for goodness sakes, don't upgrade. You're not gonna get anything from it. If you have the non-Pro version last year, obviously not big of an upgrade and not worth the money. If you're only looking for just showing off with your brand new device, then by all means go for it. But in terms of like actual benefit, of upgrading it. The only thing that you get is a Type-C port right here. That is a new addition to this device, and apart from that, it's just same old. Nothing has changed. So there we go. Now that's basically my review. My rant crapping on Apple, because at this point I'm a little bit frustrated with the device. I used to love Apple. I did have like the old iPhone 2, 3GS, and 4. And those were great devices, but it's far from what it used to be nowadays. So it's basically the same old device. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, fun, and informative, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.